Now, Republican incumbent Mitch McConnell is gaining momentum in his tough battle against Democrat Allison Lundergan Grimes. We're talking about the Kentucky Senate race here. McConnell now leads Grimes by 5 points. That's according to a Bluegrass poll. The candidates were virtually tied in previous polls, and many believe McConnell's seat might be vulnerable. Well, the Democrats certainly hope so anyhow. Can McConnell hold the lead in the final stretch of the campaign? Well, let's bring in former Republican strategist Cheryl-Lynn Harley-Lebon. She is in Washington tonight. Cheryl-Lynn, glad to see you. What's your hunch? Mitch was in a little bit of trouble. He was in trouble back in the primaries, and he's had to fight hard against Lundergan Grimes, but the sense is that he can pull it off?
Absolutely. And let me just set the landscape. I know in your previous segment you were talking about overall, but it's important to note that Nate Silver with 538 has said that Republicans have a 68.5 chance of taking back the Senate. And then, of course, the numbers came out this morning that Republicans are leading the Democrats 10% in early voting. So if you take those numbers and you put it all in context, when you look at those battleground states, such as Kentucky, you can see why the momentum tends to be building in favor of the Republicans.
I wonder if, because Mitch has been sort of beat up a little bit, as I said, in the primary to a degree, was fighting a Tea Party candidate.
Right.
Faced a tough fight here, and folks said, oh my gosh, could Mitch go down to a Democrat? Okay, so he wins. Is it time for a change of leadership in the Senate if Republicans end up winning the thing? You think that the caucus will want to say, maybe not Mitch, maybe somebody else?
You know, I think it's just at this point too early to say, because we need to see who wins, who comes back. I mean, there's a whole lot of issues and that need to be put on the table and things that need to be put in context. So right now, there hasn't been a lot of talk that Mitch McConnell would not be the Senate Majority Leader. But again, David, that could all change because you don't know who's going to be coming in. You don't know what new senators will be, you know, a part of the caucus. So there's a lot of factors and there's a lot of jockeying that will take place in that month of December.
And I think, too, you know, you think about a state like Kansas where a nominal independent is running tough against a Republican. We all know this independent, you know, has had Democrat sort of leanings. Fair enough. But you get the sense that if that independent, exactly, you get the sense that if that independent wins, it might be interpreted as this was a vote against Congress. This was a vote against guys like Mitch McConnell, and we just don't like Congress. So you're right. It depends on how it all plays out. I assume if Republicans win the Senate, all is forgiven. It'll be, you know, that's just grand. Republicans will be feeling pretty good about themselves. Focusing back on Kentucky, though, for just a second. The thinking is independents generally favor the Democrat Lundergan Grimes, although she's going to have trouble holding on to her base because some Democrats actually like Mitch McConnell.
Well, the other problem is, and I mean this is a major problem, she has not been able to answer the question that many voters want to know. Did you vote with President Obama? Did you vote for him? She's not been able to answer that question, and I find that rather curious that you have a candidate running for Senate in a battleground state can't answer the question of whether she supported the current president of the United States. Why not answer the question? Are you embarrassed about the response? So again, she represents a number of Democratic candidates running across the country who are in fact don't want to be seen with the president and don't want to admit that they've supported his policies. You know, that is why the numbers just don't look great for Democratic candidates.
Well, and we've seen this in all sorts of states, you know, Iowa for sure, Colorado, where Democrats are running as fast as they can, as far as they can, away from Obama. And can they do it fast enough?
In New Hampshire, exactly. Landrieu in Louisiana, Pryor in Arkansas, they are all running as fast as they can from Obamacare, from amnesty, from the IRS scandals, from Benghazi. I mean, it's a litany of issues, David, and they don't want to stand next to the president.
And the flip side is Republicans.
In fact, I'll give you another. I just wanted to give you another example. In Colorado, Senator Udall had a fundraiser that was hosted by President Obama. But guess what? Udall didn't even show up at the fundraiser. He did not want to be seen with the president. So this is, I think, just a very sad, pattern that we're seeing with these Senate candidates across the country.
And on the flip side, I was going to say, all Republicans, it seems to me, to seal the deal in all these tight races is they got to talk about Obama as much as they possibly can, and that's going to be their key to victory.
Absolutely. Well, the fact remains we have a lot of problems in this country. We've got a number of international problems around the world. Putin, ISIS, of course, as you know, you faced it in Ottawa. We had a beheading. We've got a beheading of a grandmother in Oklahoma. And we've got Ebola. And I'll tell you, David, Ebola represents the convergence of failures of this administration. It's international, it's domestic, it's a failure of leadership. So Ebola represents really a convergence of many things that are going wrong in the country right now.
We'll see in 4 days. I think you might be right. Sherilyn Harley-LeBone joining us from Washington tonight. Thank you so much.